Meet Hades, big, boisterous, and of course, reactive as f. In a few weeks, we went from that to this. So stay with me because I'm about to give you the exact behind the scenes process. Pen and paper out, we're going in. Today, I'm going to show you the full protocol, what we did on day 1, what nearly derailed us in week 2, and the tiny adjustment that really kickstarted our progress. So if you've got a reactive dog at home, I guarantee this video will help. Just need 30 seconds of your time. Firstly, I want to say thank you so much for all the support you have given us. We've just moved into our brand new training center. Look at it, it's magnificent, and part of that is down to the fact that you guys have been so supportive across all of our platforms. If you didn't know, we give 100% of our income from YouTube for you watching these videos to a different charity that's to do with dogs every single month. And if you could do me a favor and stop this video right now and hit that subscribe button, you will help dogs all over the world with very little effort. I can't thank you enough. Enjoy the rest of the video and we'll see you in the next one. So this is my very big mate, Hades. He's a young German Shepherd. He's reactive, borderline kind of aggressive towards other dogs. As with a lot of Shepherds, it comes from a place of like insecurity, lack of socialization, a little bit of nerve in there. Truth be told, I haven't done anything with him yet. And the reason I haven't done anything with him yet is because I can't. He doesn't want anything that I have, so I can't possibly reward him. If I offer some food in front of his face, he might take it, but he's not going to come looking for it. So yeah, he's just turned his nose up there. So what I could turn to now is put a prong collar on him and just compel him into obedience. Now, as many of you know, I don't have problems with tools. However, I'm very big advocate of teaching our dog other options before we overlay pressure. Teaching our dog like what they kind of should do before I add pressure in. Not just because I think it's ethically fair, which it is. I also think we have much better long-lasting results that way. Because if I take a tool on Hades now, which after spending some time with him, he's never been really told what to do. He's never been told he has to do this and he's not allowed to do that. And he's never been told that he's very strong. He's never been told that he's not allowed to pull on the lead. He's never been told that he has to go in a crate. If I start compelling him to do everything in life, because I've had to compel him to go into the crate, very quickly we'll build a bad blood relationship. Because if I'm just the bad guy, I'm just squashing everything fun in his life. And there's another poo. Hi, boss. You got a poo bag? Thank you. And then what would end up happening is he's going to kind of not enjoy working with me. It's going to be really difficult for me to reward things. It's going to be really difficult for me to build trust in him. And it's going to be really difficult, like the whole training process is going to be like whack-a-mole. I'll just be trying to squash behaviors left, right, and center. And I don't really want that because one, it feels icky, like it doesn't feel nice. But also two, when we squash behaviors, we have to channel them into appropriate ones. If we don't have the means to do that without reinforcement, what's going to happen is I will squash one behavior and he'll just channel it elsewhere himself onto probably something else unwanted. So at this rate, we hang out together. I've been letting him run around my garden. I'll chase him a little bit. He'll chase me a little bit. He's not really bothered by toys. I'm going to build all of that though. I'm going to allow this all to build over time. I'm feeding him 2-3 times a day. I'm putting the food in his crate. If he eats it, great. If he doesn't, it gets lifted. He's only just started eating full portions. So chances are like he's a little bit of a spoiled dog, and that's okay. That's quite normal, but we have to kind of unspoil him to make sure it builds some work ethic in him so I can start rewarding behaviors. If I just bust out the high value treats, which he might take, of course he did. Yeah, we can start training maybe, but I can only get so many reps done because I can only give him so much high value treats on top of his regular diet. So I'm going to really work on using his essential food, the kibble that he eats, and build that up by making it harder to attain each and every day. If you want to follow that process with me, click the link in the description, download our behavior Bible, and then once we have a means to reward the dog, we can start overlaying everything on top of that. But that's where everything starts. So if you watched our video with Rue or Travis or Loki, exactly the same process with those 3 dogs. Just hyper-reactive dogs, super frustrated, super wound up, in some instances super defensive and aggressive. We have to build a means to motivate the dog first, and that can be built. It's not rigid. We can change things in the dog and how much he wants things, right? And that's by depriving him, not starving him, not letting him have any fun, but depriving him and removing access to those things in non-constructive manners. So I don't want to like scatter feed high value treats with this dog, because he's just going to be like, oh, I can just do a really easy low level job and I just get this amazing thing, and so on and so forth. And basically people are raising their dogs like they raise kids nowadays, and they're giving them a lot for not doing much, and then they expect to get a real job and actually kind of align themselves with society, and they can't do it because if they've been getting paid £50 a day to sit in their room and play Xbox, right? Because parents are giving away pocket money for free. That's basically what's happened with this dog. So I have to change that before I start correcting, because if I just like start correcting now and I do stop the behavior, which I'm sure I could, well then I need to kind of reinforce something preferential. And if I don't have the means to do that, he'll be like, oh, well, I can't do that then. I'll just bark at this dog over here, and so on and so forth. And this is why you guys often kind of miss these important bits, and you find your dog's reactivity keeps coming back, or it arises in different situations and so on and so forth, because we haven't got the means to drive in preferential behavior. So that's what we're going to be working on. I will skip this video to the next bit, and when he starts working for food and we've got some conditioned markers, and then I'll show you how I introduce him with two dogs in a controlled fashion. All right, but for now it's him dragging me around a little bit, going to the toilet, not getting up to much. By the way, don't call your dog Hades or Loki, or there's a pattern with all the dogs we're working with, right? They've all got crazy ass names. No Hades, no Loki, no fucking Satan or anything like that. You're asking for trouble. But right now, Hades and I, we're roommates. We're chilling. I'm not asking him to do anything yet, not until I have the means to pay him. Otherwise, I'm probably going to get a lot of pushback. Big male dog, never really been told what to do. I'll just instantly become the bad guy. He'll then hate training, and it's going to slow down the process exponentially. Sometimes the start of the process needs to be slow for the second phase of the process to be really quick, and that's super important. You can't cook spaghetti without boiling water. You leave it in cold water, you just come back to mush, and that's what people do training their dogs. Boil the water, then train your dog. And it was Bart Bellum that said that, I believe, so credit where credit's due. Alrighty, we're going away. Okay, so we're on probably day 10 or so with Hades. Guys, I've got a super sick present for you. If you click the link in the description here, I put together a free dog reactivity masterclass, start to finish process. I guarantee there's information in there that's, one, going to piss a lot of people off, but two, change some lives. So once you finish this video, click that link, register, and I'll see you soon. Up until this point, we've not done too much. Again, we've just kind of hung out together. He's a dog that was, in a sense, come to us quite spoilt in terms of he's had access to food and toys whenever he wanted, as much as he wanted. And so what that's created is a dog that's quite difficult to train. I could, as mentioned previously, use loads of pressure to train that, but then I'm going to have an imbalance. When I use pressure, I want to be able to marry it up with reinforcement so we have a balanced relationship. I don't want to become the guy that is just responsible for stopping him having fun. Because chances are, all these naughty behaviors he's got in him, like this one here, he's doing it because he gets a sense of fun out of it. Now, if I just become the fun police and tell him what he's not allowed to do without telling him what he is allowed to do, he's going to start kind of almost resenting me. And I don't want that, because it's going to stagnate progress later on down the line. We're actually getting somewhere now. He's starting to think about taking food, and he's interested in playing with toys. And so I'm going to show you guys today how I'm going to start playing with a dog like this, a dog that has the propensity to pick the ball up and run off and do his own thing. He doesn't know how to play. 3 main reasons we play with our dogs. 1, biological fulfillment. Your dog is genetically aligned to want to chase, hunt, and look for things. 2, expression of their prey drive and the defensive drive. Prey is chasing, defense is fighting or conflict. And giving them opportunity to express them, and alongside suppressing maybe non-constructive ways they're expressing that via reactivity, super important. We can't just suppress things, we have to channel it into something else. So that's why we play. And obviously then, big one, energy expenditure. I would put the first 2 over the energy expenditure. A lot of people think playing with their dog is just good for expended energy. While it is, there are much more important benefits there that if we neglect, it's going to really stagnate our dog's progress. Something I want to be really clear about is when he first came to me, he didn't give a shit about toys. He didn't want a ball. He's having too much fun doing all this naughty stuff, right? He's like, I don't need to play with you. I'm having fun barking at dogs. I'm having fun digging up the whatever that is. I'm having fun digging holes in the garden. And so I had to go through a period of keeping him on the leash at all times to say, we don't have fun doing these things. And kind of waiting and boring him out. So he goes like, what can we do then? And I say, well, we could play with this. And sometimes that is what is required. So if you say to me, oh, but what if my dog doesn't care about toys? We can change that. If you've got toys lying around the house everywhere and your dog has access to them whenever they want, of course they're not going to want them. They're satiated by it. And so sometimes we need to go through a period of incoming dirty word, deprivation, in order to start kind of triggering some want and desire in our dog to want to play with us, and so on and so forth. Same with food. I've fed him twice a day from a bowl. I've given him no extra treats or anything like that. If I go ahead and give him treats, that's just going to become the baseline. He's going to get on the hedonic treadmill and he's going to go, hey, what else you got? I know I've said all this before, but a great mentor of mine once told me people need reminding more than they need teaching. So here we are. Anyway, I'll stop waffling. I know you guys in the comments often go on about how much I waffle. However, it's really important to understand the theory and why we're doing these things to fully get the most out of the applications. So I'm always going to start play with the dog on a line, because without the line, what's he going to do? That. And that allows me to direct the game. I like something I can play tug with and I can play fetch with. That way, I can teach a dog like this, when you come back to me, you're not going to lose the toy. Chances are we're just going to play tug again. And so I can start teaching, whoa, good boy, whoa, good lad. The game starts again when you come back. It doesn't end. But so many people, what do? They take the toy and they're like, drop, drop, drop. They try and take the toy off the dog, and the dog quickly figures out, when I get the toy and bring it back to you, you take it off me, so I'm going to keep it. And you accidentally teach a dog this in the house early doors as a puppy. You let them have too much freedom. They pick up something you shouldn't. You then chase them around the house with it. You chase them around the house while they have it, and you take it off them. And you teach them to become like super possessive. And that's not constructive for play. Oh boy, whoa, good boy. Woo, whoa, good lad, clever boy. And so I don't really like to teach the drop or the out before the dog really wants to stay in the game. A lot of people ruin the game of their dog by adding too much obedience too early. We can cultivate that fun into work later on, but initially we need to create the want and desire first, just like most things we do. Good boy. So I'm going to let him win, or I'm going to legitimately try and beat him. A couple of things I like to do when playing games like this. Yeah. Clever. Is kind of test his grip out occasionally. You don't want to snag your dog's tooth here, so I can test the grip, and if he holds it, he gets to keep it. Another thing I like to do is when we're playing tug, I wait for legitimate effort. And instead of letting the toy go, I let it slip out of my fingers. That will teach the dog that the win was genuinely hard, it was fought for. And that'll keep him motivated. If I win too easy, or if he wins too easy, it no longer becomes a contest. And it's super important with dogs that the game is a legitimate contest to express all these important drives we've got in the dog. Good boy. Now, when he has the toy, you'll notice I become a second target, and we have layers to this game. The second layer is he has to now catch me. Good boy. Hey, hey, hey. And I can use my collar, which I have a prong on him at the moment. Whoa, so I win. Whoa, and he has to work for it now. He doesn't get it back easy if I win. So I can start steering where that game goes. Good boy. Just back towards me. Good lad. And again, this is a dog that typically will get a toy and want to bugger off with it. But now you can start seeing he's getting the toy, coming round the corner, and heading back towards me. Because I've shown him there with the leash and shown him like you've got nothing to worry about when that toy comes back, because we're just going to play again. Good boy, good lad. And so we're starting to see a more engaged dog that's much more willing to share now than a dog that wants to pick the toy up and bugger off. Right. So I add my little taps when he's kind of disengaging. I back away, I never go towards him. Oh boy. So I don't want to finish the game when he gets bored, because the next time the toy comes out, he sees the toy, he's like, oh. It was kind of boring last time we played, because the dog's going to remember the end of the session more than they're going to remember any other part of the session. And so we always want to finish up where we mean to start next time in anything we do with our dogs. Good lad. And so here, look, I can start teaching him some very core behavior fundamentals in terms of like, when I say your name, Zeus, maybe come back to me. And I can start teaching him that good things happen my end of the leash. Oh, good lad. Good boy. And people will come at me and say, why are you using pressure in play? Why are you putting a prong collar on a dog in play? Dogs like a little bit of contest in a game, right? They like a little bit of negative reinforcement overlaid, because if you watch two dogs play with each other, they're gonna fuck each other up, right? And so if our game does not include the components that they require to get the most out of a game, it's no longer a game. Good boy. Good lad. Yeah, good lad. And go this way. Hey. Hey, good boy. Yeah, good lad. Ooh, good boy. And when I move back, I want to be invitational. I don't want to be trying to get to him and like get the toy, because then that'll get him to kind of keep the toy, possess it and move away. Good lad. Every time I do a video about play, people are always asking me, what toy is that? What toy are you using? There's something magic in that toy. We could be using anything right now, guys. It doesn't really matter. You got a dog that does this, you move them away, and he's gonna do two things. He's gonna either pick it up or he's gonna leave it behind and wish he'd picked it up, to which then I go back and I steal it. Good lad. And next time he'll keep hold of it. So if I let him mooch and lie down and sit over the toy for a bit, I'll move him away next time. And what's likely to happen is he'll bring the toy with him, if he even lets it go at all. Ah, clever. Good boy. Oh, good boy. Cool. So I'm gonna win. I'm gonna wind him up. Good boy, all done. I'm gonna give my all done cue, because I wanna close that window for play, and more importantly, close that window for over arousal, or for him being in an aroused state, so I can start teaching him later on. Go up, go down, go up, go down. Because with dogs, if you want to switch it off, e.g. stop the reactivity, you're going to be much better equipped to do that if you're able to switch it on. Good man, and look at that, good boy. Perfect play session. Until he starts readily taking food off me, this is how our training is going to look, and we can start overlaying some more components as we go on. Some sits, some downs, a little bit of obedience, maybe. But don't neglect how much you can teach your dog through play. It's often overlooked, and it's very, very important. So good session with Zeus, maybe lasted 5-10 minutes. I'll do that 2-3 times a day, start advancing it as we go along. Once the water's boiled and he's ready to start taking food and we've conditioned markers, we can then kick our training on furthermore. All right? Okay, we'll see you in the next part of... I keep calling him Zeus, his name's Hades. It's the other god, it's the counterpart. So sorry, Hades, your name's Hades, not Zeus. Looks like a Zeus though. Good boy. I think Zeus is a nicer name for you. Hades makes you sound a little bit evil, but you're not. You're a sweet boy. All right, good man, good man. No, we don't headbutt. Cool. All right, that'll do us. Good boy, Hades. Okay, we're on Hades part 3. I've had a shave and a shower and a haircut, so sorry if I look different. Today I'm going to show you how I integrate a dog like him with my dogs. And if you don't know, I actually have 7 dogs. I'm going to utilize 4 of them today with some guests. So I've also got Ruin and Loki. You might recognize him from our channel. You can hear Hades shouting away, excited to go. And so, yeah, this is going to be a don't try this at home moment. This is going to be me socializing 5, 6, 7 really high caliber, powerful breed dogs. Show you my protocol, why we're doing it, so on and so forth. He's a dog that's had very little socialization, and so whilst he's here, might as well give him an opportunity to meet some dogs. I have all the faith and trust in my own dogs, and that they'll listen to me, as I do the guests as well, because they're going through their own training, they're responding really well. And so I've allowed them to meet kind of in passing, behind fences, through crates, and so on and so forth. So they've acclimatized to one another's presence, which is super important. It's not like I'm just going to throw them all into a field together and say, have at it. Would I be more careful? Typically, yeah, probably. It's kind of a slower approach, but I've only got like a week left with him, so I want to get him mixing with my dog, so then when we introduce off-lead walks, I can have them mingle and used to kind of coming away from them, so on and so forth. So I'm going to bring my dogs in here, as well as Loki and Rue. I'll use Lenny and Kobe as well. Again, we've got 3 Malinois, 1 Shepherd, 1 Staffy Cross Shepherd, 1 Bull Cross Malinois, and then obviously Hades the shepherd himself as well. So I'm gonna have them all in the field, and we're gonna do some socialization. All right, I'll go get the dogs. Okay, so I've got the big fella, and you can kind of see here he's not all that interested now. 2 weeks ago he would have been, because he's gonna be like, oh my god, dogs! Holy shit, there's dogs! You can see all of my dogs. You're doing a poop, mate. He wheezes like that. You can see all of my dogs couldn't give less of a shit that he's here, because they're so used to seeing other dogs knocking about. Big dogs, small dogs, aggressive dogs, so on and so forth. Stark and Rue are going to go and flirt over there and mind their own business, which I don't mind. When it comes to socialising dogs, you're the referee within these social interactions. You're the person that has to say, hey, knock it off. If you don't have authority over a dog and say, cut that shit, you can't socialise them. Because if chances are, they're going to make loads of errors, pick up loads of unwanted behaviours, maybe even fight, maybe even fall out. And what happens there, you're not going to socialise them. So you can't just put a dog in a field and expect to socialise issues out of them. You're going to create problems. And so I've got a leash on him at the moment. He doesn't have a great marker system. Hades, I mean. The rest of these guys do. They'll respond to my voice, so I'm happy with that. Good old Ranger's going to mind his own business. Lenny couldn't care about anything that goes on in life. Kobe's shitting in the woods. This is my garden, by the way, guys, so if you see me leave any poos, then I'll just pick it up later. And neither do I need to be on like really tender hooks, like constantly not allowing the dogs to interact either. Granted, Hades is on a leash, and we might see a little bit of frustration if I was letting him pull me all over, which I'm not. He's on a slip collar right now, and I just want to let him be in the presence of my dogs. Have a little sniff. I'm not going to let him get too excited. If he gets too excited, I'll probably step in and say, hey, knock it off. Notice a couple of things about his behavior. He kind of postures up and goes over the top of dogs, which other dogs don't typically like. His back goes up, just pilus erectus. And so, like, I don't really want Hades getting involved with them two over there, because he's probably going to get too excited. He's probably going to lose his mind, and they'll probably end up having a scuffle, and that won't be good. And so my job is to keep the calm, to referee, make sure there's some ass sniffing going on. There's a borderline there, right? But he's doing all right, bless him. And so I want him to mix with other dogs. I trust my dogs. I trust Big Cobes. I trust Lenny. I trust Stark. Of course, I trust Ranger. And so, yeah, we're just mixing. We're chilling. Ranger's sunbathing. These two boys are very eager to work right now. You might see them jumping up on me a little bit. That's saying, Dad, let's work, let's work, let's work, let's do something. Let's do some obedience. Let's do some fun stuff. I don't mind my own dogs doing that to me. I don't allow them to do it to other people. I'm constantly dressed in shitty dog clothes. And so I'd rather my dogs kind of be excited to work with and for me than fear me like some tyrannical dictator. Things can go wrong with dogs. Things can go wrong with big dogs. Things can go wrong with these high drive working breeders dogs. Look at them all. Look at this rascal here. He's absolutely off his rocker. And so you have to have authority over them, but that doesn't mean you need to completely rule with an iron fist. If I wanted Hades to learn a harsh lesson and he was being too much with dogs, I'd just bring Darla out, but she's inside at the moment. Good boy. You like Rue. Rue's pretty good at, she's pretty social. She can be a bit much sometimes. But Rue's in for training. Hey, you don't do that. You don't do that. That's not allowed. He can't just sit and stare at Ranger and bark his head off. And this is the dichotomy I have. Like, on leash could create a little bit of frustration, but also at the same time, I can't just let him have at it, because he's probably going to charge over to another dog. Other dog won't like it and potentially like tell him off if he retaliates. That's fine. We just need to pick the right dog for that, and that would be Darla's role, but she's away right now. Rue, you're a flirt. She's really just flirting with all the boys as she comes in here. She's the only girl right now. I mean, for Hades right now, this is probably the most interaction he's had with a bunch of other dogs. Hey, come here. Good boy, good lad. In a while. And so what we're giving Hades right now is life lessons. How to act around other dogs. If you're familiar with Loki, you'd have seen the videos. We'll throw in a before video right here. You know, if you've seen Lenny, his videos, we'll throw in a before video there. Videos of Rue. Stark, my sporting dog that'll run through a brick wall to fucking bite someone. I'll show you a video of that as well. Ranger, a Dogs Trust dog. Who else we got? Kobe, formerly Reactive. Show you a video here of him right now. And so, you know, let this serve as hope to you guys that we can get through big issues and have dogs chilling and being good. You see that? She's so cute. Right, I'm pretty happy. Don't try this at home. But I'm gonna let him loose. Boy. And if he decides to be a knob, I'll have to just chase him down. This is enclosed, so I don't mind. He hasn't got a recall yet, but he can't go anywhere. So I'm not gonna sit here and call him 1,000 times. There comes a time where you have to let dogs be dogs. Ranger will guard his hole. And he's about to learn a lesson, look. He's giving a little growl there. He said, fuck off, get away from my hole. He's learned to listen to growls too. If I didn't trust Ranger so much here, I'd probably intervene. But I know my dogs, I know their body language, I know what they're gonna... These two are having a play, that's cute. Oh, look. There's no reason on planet Earth these two boys should want to play with each other. They're two highly strung males. They're two working breeds of dogs. I'll intervene if I need to. I'll intercept him if I need to. Loki, get off. I don't like that. But there does come a time where sometimes we have to bite the bullet a little bit and prepared to maybe split up scuffles, and scuffles are part of learning. Like, these have had scuffles. Rangers had scuffles with Kobe and vice versa. Right, let's get them moving a little bit. I don't typically like to... Rue, bad. Come on. I don't typically like to stay still for too long, so we'll just get moving somewhat. The big fella's off. Loki might chase him, but we're all good. Good boys and girls. Hey, calm down. Kobe's tolerance for dickhead dogs has gone like from here to here since he's been with me. They're gonna be exposed to dickhead dogs, like Hades, who's just really a bit of a knob, and which is okay. I'm watching Loki now. Loki, that's enough! And that's what I mean, like, having the control over these dogs from a distance is super important. Because I want them to run and be free and explore together and socialize and interact and learn each other's body language. But I can't reiterate enough, you're not going to be able to do that without being able to say, hey, cut the shit. So while obedience is important, whilst punishment and reinforcement is important, play is important, sometimes telling your dog to not be a dick to other dogs is also important. You can see some like body language stuff in him where he's, again, really upright, over the top of dogs like that. Good boy, Range. Range is being very tolerant. And again, I don't throw too much reinforcement, positive reinforcement into the mix here purely because I don't want these dogs coming around all looking for food from me at the same time. Hey, your legs are tangled. A note on dog play and socialization. If you don't have control over your dog, if you don't have a means to motivate your dog to do things for you, and this is your dog's sole form of fulfillment, to fuck around with other dogs all day, and you haven't got any boundaries in place for your dogs, and they don't have some fundamental obedience, this could actually create some issues. I'm fine for dogs to socialize and dick around with each other, so long as we have the underpinning kind of fundamentals in place. Loki, underpinning fundamentals in place in terms of like, have we got some control over the dog, and means to kind of motivate the dog to do constructive things as well. If this is their only form of exercise, you'll probably develop some sort of like frustration-based reactivity and so on and so forth. If the dogs didn't listen to me, we would have had maybe 3 or 4 fights by now, but fortunately they're being good citizens. Just like police us to make sure we get on with each other. You know, dogs need policing. And sometimes you can't do that with just reinforcement. Sometimes you have to step in. Sometimes you have to intervene. Whoa! So that was Stark giving Lenny a correction for being too pushy. That was justified. Stark's not going to get told off for that. And it's about drawing lines and like what's too much and what's not enough and so on and so forth. Again, don't really like to stay in one place and socialize dogs by kind of standing around, because the dogs will they'll start looking to get up to no good. But if we were to keep moving, they'd start finding value in the environment more and learn to kind of coexist that way. Big boy, Hades is being very good. Loki's being a bit of a knob, Lenny's being a bit of a knob, and so like I have to make sure that I'm keeping a close eye on them too. But in terms of Hades, a pretty constructive integration to the group. I don't want to speak too soon. I'm going to go through e-collar conditioning with him as soon as possible, so I can put a recall on him so we can all go enjoy walks together. That's mixing dogs, some bits and bobs for you guys. Not a bunch of cockapoos and Labradors, that's for sure. Not going to leave toys out or anything like that, or give them reason to fall out. I'm trying to give the dogs toys to kind of socialise. That's probably just going to create a bit of conflict between the group, which we don't want. There you go. Hey, you like Ranger, don't you? Yes, you like Ranger, don't you? He's a nice boy. Hades is now really reliably taking food from me, so we're ready to do some marker acquisition stuff so we can start our formal training. Cool, all right, that'll do us. Good boys. Yeah. He's now, yes, keen to work, as you can see, and all I've done is free fed him in his crate 3 times a day with some high quality kibble, taking away all the treats as per usual. And yes, he's actually put weight on, which is great because he was a little underweight when he came. Yes. And he's not the quickest dog at responding for food in the world. Good lad. And so I start teaching him that when I say this magic word, yes, turn around, look for something good. Yes, and this will help our training for recall, for loose lead walking, so on and so forth. Good lad. Oh, Again, this is a dog that 10 days ago I could have offered him in the presence of other dogs or whatever, the smelliest, fishiest treats, and he's like, no, I don't care, too over aroused, I'm too busy thinking about barking, and so on and so forth. Yes. And so now I'm going to spend 3 or 4 sessions just doing this, yes, over a couple of days, to teach him to imprint in his head, yes, that YES means good shit's about to happen. We call that a reward marker. Sometimes he gets 1 piece, sometimes he gets a handful, which is what we call a jackpot. If you download our behaviour Bible, I'll show you within that, yes, the step-by-step strategy, yes, on how to get there. Yes, lad. Oh, clever boy. So this is breakfast for Hades now. Yes. And you can already start seeing in his little German Shepherd brain the cogs ticking over. Yes. And the reason I throw is to create a little bit of distance between the dog and I. Yes. And I want a bit of movement associated with this marker. That helps speed up behaviours and so on and so forth. Yes. One last one. Big jackpot at the end. Chasey E.T., Chasey E.T., Chasey E.T., Chasey E.T. Good lad. Take it from me. Good lad. Real high quality kibble, so yeah. And this is part of my preparation work. So I'll do this today, tomorrow, then start actually utilizing it for exercises. We'll probably start with recall. And yeah, that is part 3 for Hades. What a good boy. What a stallion. Look at him. And again, didn't have to starve him to get there. He's actually put weight on. We don't need to starve dogs to want food. We just need to be smart in terms of when we're offering it, how often we're offering it, and so on and so forth. So for you guys at home thinking, I can't do any of this because my dog doesn't care about treats, well, the solution's in the description. Good boy. Yeah, you clever boy, aren't you? And like I said in part 1, I need a means to motivate him first. Once I then have that, we're gonna turn the gas on and we can really progress with our training. Good lad. And he likes being with me now. Yeah, good boy. And now I don't have to just be bad cop. I can be good cop, bad cop, and everything in between. Cool. All right, I'll put him up and that'll do us. So, we've got him eating food. We've got him e-collar conditioned. We're in our new training center. I'll give you guys a tour. But we moved in yesterday. It's the coolest place on planet Earth. It's gonna be like Disneyland for dogs. We've got 3 fields. We've got 2 barns, a training room, a cafe, outdoor seating area, about 14 sheds. We're gonna have an outdoor all-weather training ground, so we'll give you a tour, and I'm sure you'll see plenty of it throughout these YouTube videos. But when it's all spruced up and done, we'll give you the official tour. We'll invite you down. We'll have a big training bonanza. Hades, come. Good man. Good man. Yes. Good boy. The reason I made an effort to get him off lead as quick as possible, he's a German Shepherd. He wants to be running around. He wants to be whopping around with my dogs. I don't need to give the e-collar another spiel. And he's done great on it. He's done great on it. We've bumped into dogs out and about. He's been able to recall away. Truth be told, between you and I've not done any loose lead walking yet. And it'll be really easy for me to do that once, you know, he's got all this kind of energy and pent up kind of arousal out of his system. And so, yeah, I mean, I've been speaking to his owner. He's not had opportunity to kind of hang around and chill with other dogs before. Obviously, we've done a little bit of socialization on lead, then graduated to off lead, and just that recall, that e-collar, allows me to referee him at a distance. So like I said before, when a dog has agency, freedom, behavior change happens pretty quick, but we can't give freedom without control or insurance and things to go wrong, because they might go and chase sheep. Hades, come! So there is sheep in that field over there, but we've done some work around sheep. He blew me off there. I gave him a stim. You saw it on camera. Yes. And again, it allows me to have insurance at a distance. I don't actually think there's sheep in that field, but there could be, right? This is my point. And so again, when he's interacting with my dogs and he's about to make an error, I can referee that at a distance. And so I've spent the last 4 or 5 days doing the recall. Now he's reliably taking food off me. He's got a yes marker. It's not amazing, but it's pretty good. It's good enough to get a recall out of him. And so, again, that's what we've been working on, to give him that freedom, let him be a dog, but me have the power to say at a distance, 30 feet away or more, hey, you're about to make a mistake, bud. Don't step that threshold, or whatever it needs to be. Because I can't just expect to rent a field every day to take him out and let him off lead and be a dog and be a German Shepherd. And the longer I do that, the more difficult it's going to be. A story, case in point, would be Stark here, right? We've not competed in a couple of months, and we've had a little bit of a sabbatical. Like we've not been training for PSA, and that, those of you that don't know, Stark's a protection dog that I compete in a sport in, and we've probably had 8 weeks off because I've been away and bits and bobs have got in the way, and I just wanted him to have a little bit of a break. But the difference in him around the house and just in everyday life is he's like a different character. He's super like buzzed all the time. He's super pent up, and we only train PSA normally twice a week, giving him an opportunity to express the desires he's got in him. I'm not saying we need to do that with Hades, completely different dog, but we do need to kind of get him off lead and allow him to express himself. And me not giving Stark opportunity to do bite work is the same with many pet dog owners not giving them opportunity to be off lead, run around, chase things, and so on and so forth. And that's going to compound over time. And so we're going to start training back today in the new training facility. And thank God, because of, like, I've seen a different side to him. I've seen a dog that needs more corrections. I've seen a dog that needs to be told no more. I've seen a dog he's now barking at the front door the last week. He's never done that before, right? Because of all those big feelings that we usually let out during protection, he's not been able to express that. And so he's going to then try and send it elsewhere. And that's what, again, is probably happening with your pet dog, your Border Collie, your Labrador, your German Shepherd. And so play and off-lead freedom can do a lot to allow that dog to get it out of the system. Our more higher drive dogs that are actually genetically wired to do actual work, not a show line German Shepherd like Hades, but maybe a working line herder like Stark, we probably do need to look at kind of maybe a sport outlet and stuff like that. But that's a small fraction of dogs. Majority off-lead freedom, off-lead play, etc., etc. Sometimes we need the e-collar, or a lot of the time we need aversive control to be able to gift that to our dogs. But then consequently, we punish the dog, or have to punish the dog, suppress the dog a lot less, because they're like, I don't need to bark at the front door. I beat the decoy up all afternoon. I don't need to chase the vacuum because I chased a bird this afternoon, right? Because I was off leash. And so, like, really important correlation between, and it is causative, between being off lead, having that freedom, but also reducing the requirement to suppress behavior, because you'll just see a lot less of it. And how good is that? A dog you never have to tell no, because they don't make mistakes. They're like, all these unwanted behaviors, they're all just hobbies to the dog. A lot of the time, they're the best part of the dog's day. And even if it is defensive reactivity, yeah, it might have started from fear, but chances are now it's developed into a hobby for the dog. And so we need to give alternate hobbies. That could be sniffing poop, right? And God bless the e-collar to enable us to do that in short amount of time, like for a dog like Hades. And I'm glad it's a short amount of time. I'm glad it's 3 or 4 days, not 3 or 4 months, or in many instances 3 or 4 years to get him off leash, or in even probably more instances, never off a leash without this tool. And I am just very grateful we can do that for him. And so as he develops as a young dog, we can make sure that we mitigate how many unwanted behaviors are picked up in that time, because of he's got so many wanted behaviors through the means of freedom. Anyway, that's my spiel on Hades. Listen, this whole lesson has been what? Do what you want, bud. Walk around, do what you want, fill your boots, play with Lenny, take a shit like Lenny, right? Do whatever you want, sniffing poop, right? If you make an error, I'm able to call you back, and if you don't respond to that, I can offer a bit of pressure to compel you to do so. But then when you come back, I'm going to give you a biscuit, and then you can do what you want again. That's a pretty fair deal, right? Instead of like getting dragged around by him on the leash with 6 foot squared in front of us to explore. Now he gets all of this, and later on we'll go for a walk over there, and I've been walking him around my house at the river with the other dogs, with my sausage dogs, and just having the best time thanks to the e-collar. This is a lesson. There's nothing involved because there's nothing to do. He's having fun. I'm talking shit on YouTube. Wait for the next part. We're going to do some loose lead walking. See you in the next part 17. Don't shorten that leash. Try and, yeah, your turn's going to do the work for this, all right?
Yep.
Cool. Cool. First official stoogles. And all you've got to worry about here is your turns. So if he goes in front because he's like too interested in the dog, you just turn. But he doesn't care, so you just keep going past. Very nice. Cool, you keep doing that for a sec.
Yep.
I'm going to get one of my dogs out and just let him run around a bit. And you just got to, all you think about is just not letting him pull on the leash, okay? And if he thinks about pulling, you turn. So now turn. That's it. And then turn back again. Stark here. He's fucked off. I've lost my stooge. Good boy. That's it. All good. You're all good. Stark here. Not you, dopey. Perfect. Echo. 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 Turn now. Yeah, try and not keep him at bay. And then you only need 3 steps that way and you can turn back again now, Andy. Cool. Tap, tap. Yeah. So if he pulls on the leash, that's a break of the rules. You tap, tap. And you only need to turn if he goes in front of you.
Okay.
Very nice. That's nice. Out. That's good job, yeah. Heel. Alpha. Alpha. Tap, tap. Little tug again, use your leash. Yeah, perfect.
Heel.
Alpha. Cool, take a turn again. His job is to ignore both of us. If he tries to pull, leash and tap on the, tap, tap, yeah. Cool, turn again. Alpha. That's it, yeah, yeah. Turn again, same again. Just gonna get through these. There you go. Perfect, good boy. Very nice job, mate. Good job, buddy. Very nice. Again, if you do have a reactive dog and you found this video helpful, then you're going to absolutely love this one over here. See you there.